When you say the campaign was morally bankrupt, what do you mean?
Well, I'll tell you what the campaign was really about. Let's not muck about, you know. The campaign was about time for change because of the 2008 campaign. They wanted change. And so someone has to, if there's change, it's not your fault or yours or mine or yours. You've got to find someone else, haven't you? Someone else that rings bells, strikes chords, rises the temperature. Well, we all know who does that. They, them, it, Europe, officials, and one more? Race. And the underlying drive of Brexit was immigration. And was it 40 million Turks who are going to be allowed?
70.
70 million.
I think it was 70 million.
70 million. What's 10 million here or there? 70 million Turks. What was that all about? Race, immigration. And that was led by people like Nigel Farage, exploited by Boris Johnson. That was the driver that tipped just by the narrowest of margins the British people over. Now, I lived through Enoch Powell's speech. I was the first Conservative to criticise him in 1968. I saw what race can do as an issue in this country, in any country. Look across the world today, it is disastrous, the racial conflicts everywhere. Racialism, tribalism, you know, just look around the world, it's everywhere. And so anyone in politics who knows about communication knows that if you want to stir things unforgivably, that's the place to go. And why Enoch's speech was immoral is because not only did it do it in spades with language which was inflammatory, there was not a shred of a sensible suggestion of what to do about it. So he stirred up the meat porters of Smithfield Marks. My constituents could hardly talk. They were so carried away. And of course, Ted sacked him, quite rightly. But you know, so I've lived through these manifestations of Brexit and immigration and all that twice. But you only have to go back to the 1930s to find some pretty chilling examples.
Okay, well, let me just challenge you on that a little bit, because what we've seen since the referendum, I mean, paradoxically enough, is we've seen a massive increase in immigration from non-white countries.
Yes.
Nigeria, India, places like that.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, we've seen a softening of public attitudes towards immigration, which kind of belies your argument, doesn't it? So immigration of non-white people has gone up massively, public opinion has softened. So how does your argument make sense?
Well, I can only tell you that I know what the situation was like in the referendum, and that was the issue at the time. I haven't the slightest doubt that it was the tripping point.
Click here for a video on Lord Ashcroft hiding from questions on tax in a toilet.